When they use the term a cornered rat, a caged rat, it's always a rat. Well, I guarantee you, if you get most animals, most critters, and you put them against a wall, or you threaten their existence, they're going to go crazy. Okay? Batshit crazy. And that's when they're dangerous. And that's what Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, and I'm going to throw in Nick Fuentes and others are doing. Because these fellers don't know what to do. And especially the folks who are in the Trump administration, because they were social media firebrands themselves. Now they don't like it when somebody's coming after them. So the story is that investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein has published a controversial report claiming, that the Trump administration's new National Counterterrorism Strategy could eventually be used not only against violent extremists. What the hell does that mean? First of all, the key word is violent. I don't care if they're violent Girl Scouts. It doesn't matter. It's violent. Okay? But, and what is an extremist? To whom? I hope you think I'm an extremist, because what I'm saying is extreme because it tends to and seeks to tear down the status quo, but I digress. But they want to extend this not only to violent extremists in their world, but also against political voices on the right who criticize parts of the administration's agenda. Now, let me just say something, and I've been saying this for the longest time, and maybe you have as well. I'm so sick and tired of this notion called the right, the left, conspiracy theorists, all of these stupid, idiotic, I guess these, what would you call them? Labels, shortcuts? We use them all the time, and they're so wrong, it's not even funny. But anyway, for purposes of this, you know what I'm talking about, right? So we'll just play along. So the article focuses heavily on comments made by White House counterterrorism advisor Count Chocula himself, Sebastian Gorka, and his comments about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. And Candace Owens is next. And the reason why she is next is that she has been able to spread and pepper and distribute her commentary to more matters that tend to be not purely political. Even though I guess one could argue, because Erica Kirk is not a political person. Anyway, but she's next. They're going after her. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Maybe Count Dracula. I'm Sebastian Gorka. Have you heard him? All he needs is a cape and a... Anyway. So, Gorka says, according to the report, Gorka suggested during a Breitbart interview that Carlson and Fuentes should no longer be considered part of the conservative movement because of their criticism of Trump's foreign policy, especially regarding Iran. First, what is the conservative movement? And who gets thrown out and who gets invited in? What is there, a fee? Do you pay dues? And if anybody has been brutal on that, it's been Candace. I think Count Dracula might be saying, let's stay away from Candace because she's far too much, dangerous. Maybe because, Fuentes, and by the way, I'm just going to say this, okay? Everybody, including you, has said bad things at one time or another. Trump said them. Obama, everybody. But it's possible for me to say, I like that. It's like getting an album. It's like, I wasn't crazy about that album, but I like that one song. And Nick Fuentes and others has said some very good things about certain topics, some of them being America First and how we basically abandoned it. So, I still say I'm kind of old-fashioned. Let everybody say whatever they want. If you don't like them, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. There was somebody the other day, I forget who it was. This one doofus was screaming, and I said, I don't listen to him. Yeah, but don't you know what he said? I said, I don't listen to him, so how do I know? What do I care? Let them say whatever they want. That's me. Live and let live. Okay? Bless the beasts and the children. Never understood that. Anyway, so he wants to can Tucker and Fuentes because, God forbid, you should say something about Iran. Now, Tucker, of course, has strongly opposed deeper American involvement in Middle East conflicts and argued that attacking Iran serves foreign interests more than American ones. No shit. That's the essence. The essence, Gorka, that people are saying is that it has nothing to do with us. We're doing the heavy lifting for Israel. That's what they're saying. Are you saying they can't say that? They're going to lose their membership card in the Conservative Party? And who the are you to say who is it and who isn't? I mean, did you just figure out? So the way you're going to address this is not by countering the argument, by suggesting perhaps alternatives that might, I don't know, make sense. No, you want to kick people out of the game. So, Fuentes, by the way, who has been, he said some stuff that I would never say. But so what? I'll live with it. You'll live with it. It's the First Amendment's a bitch. You know what it is? You got a lot of crazy people. But every now and then the crazy people say some good stuff. I remember one time years ago when Frank Zappa was making some great points about censorship, and people said, I like this Zappa. His music? Oh, no. but anyway, so the controversy revolves around the administration's newly released 2026 Counterterrorism Strategy, which identifies 3 major threats: narco-terrorist gangs, just 3, Islamist extremism. Islamism, by definition, is militarized Islam. So one could maybe... Anyway, Islamist extremism and violent left-wing extremism. What about right-wing extremism? Well, there's no such thing as that. Right-wing isn't extreme, right, Dr. Gorka? It's not extreme. Extreme is not to be right. Extreme is not to be what I say is right. So the document also mentions anarchists, anti-fascists, and what it calls radically pro-transgender ideologies. It's kind of... How about dumb shits? That's the problem. At least with a smart pro-transgender ideologist radical, I can at least maybe talk some sense, but I can't make sense to a turnip. Okay. So anyway, critics are arguing that the language is so broad and so expansive that it could eventually be expanded to include ideological opponents or independent media figures who challenge the government. Duh! Do you think? Hello? What do you think? That's the point. That's the point. I want everybody who disagrees with me to be considered. All right. So one of the biggest concerns involves what civil liberties advocates call pre-crime policing. This is a Minority Report. Predictive programming. The strategy says that the government wants to identify terror actors and stop plots before crimes happen. That'd be nice. Kind of like a diagnostic test. And supporters argue that this is necessary, of course, to prevent political violence and mass attacks before innocent people are hurt. Rational people warn that this type of language can easily lead to investigations based more on speech and beliefs and articulated political associations than actual criminal activity. You got that? That's my point, but I can't say that. That's exactly what I want to do. Thank you, Count. So in this article, Mr. Klippenstein argues that the administration is creating a system which critics can first rather be pushed outside the definition of real conservatives and then potentially treated as extremist threats. He claims, for example, this is what Gorka was doing by saying that Tucker Carlson and Fuentes, and I'm telling you, Candace, They were no longer conservatives. Under that logic, once someone is defined as outside the movement, they can more easily be portrayed as dangerous or foreign aligned. Remember this? Remember the Russian influence, Russian infiltration? Do I have to remind you? So the article also, by the way, ties the strategy to the aftermath of 2025 murder of Charlie Kirk. See, according to the reporting, officials inside the Trump administration used the killing as justification for expanding domestic counter-terror, powers, rather than trying to figure out who killed him, because Tyler Robinson had as much to do with it as this lint brush. So the strategy reportedly grew out, of course, of internal discussions and, planning and plotting that began immediately after Kirk's death, with officials comparing the moment to a domestic version of, you guessed it, 9/11. So the supporters of Count Dracula and Trump say that the strategy is aimed at protecting Americans, of course, from growing political violence and organized extremism and disorganized extremism and instability inside the government, inside the country. Now, they argue that the government has a responsibility to stop violent actors before attacks occur. And of course, rational people like us counter that the governments throughout history have always expanded emergency powers during times of fear and unrest. This is Hegelian dialectic, by the way, gradually turning national security tools into political weapons. This is axiomatic. So the deeper issue exposed by the controversy is a kind of a growing divide inside what many call the populist right. Figures like Tucker and Candace increasingly represent an America First wing skeptical of foreign wars. Yeah. And surveillance. Yeah. And federal power, which others inside the administration view ideologically in terms of a unity and aggressive security policy that emboldens and protects the country. And they view it as necessary in order to maintain order. Now, that conflict is now spilling out into public view. And it's raising larger, bigger, more serious questions about free speech and political dissent and where the line between extremism and disagreement will ultimately be drawn. Now, what you have to understand is simply this, and this is critical. We have seen this before forever. You're going to see this forever. We're going to take the notion of Brandenburg. The Brandenburg principle is that Supreme Court articulated in the case of Brandenburg that you cannot act upon people's speech unless, and I'm really paraphrasing this, unless it is articulable, unless it is imminent or eminent, as some people say, as long as it deals specifically with something about to happen and is likely to cause you to do something. If you say, in my opinion, that America sucks, Israel sucks, Egypt sucks, France sucks, the Beatles suck, the Stones sucks, pate and panini suck, outdoor dining, Alfredo, golf and fishing, anything. And if you further hate Alsatians, Aleuts, people wearing bonnets, people wearing hoodies, people who play the accordion, you can hate, dislike, disapprove, be against. You can, in my book, spew anything. Anything. I mean anything. When it becomes disruptive, for example, yelling theater in a crowded fire, but yelling something at a hearing, it's not what you're saying. In fact, it's the volume. That's a problem. If you're saying something where you're saying, come on, or you're getting up in people's faces, and the speech is coupled with other violence-based, threat, I think we can all articulate that. But hate is protected. Thought is protected. And what Dr. Gorka is trying to do is he's realizing that they're collapsing. And as much as I like President Trump, personally, And what he's done in the old days, I want to make Trump Trump again. That would make America. I want to get the. Let me see that 2016 Trump. I like that guy. I don't know what's going on. He even said recently, he said, I don't care about gas prices or how Americans suffer financially. I just got to make sure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. Oh, you've got it. Nobody gives a shit about that. Let me just tell you. Let me just spell it out for you. Dr. Gorka. We have been told this forever. And it's not you telling us. We know who's saying this. We know it. We're not stupid. It's okay. Countries can lobby. Perhaps maybe they should register as such. Countries can lobby. Lobbies can lobby. Climate folks can lobby. The gun folks can lobby. The doctors, the insurance, everybody. Big pharma lobbies. And the biggest lobby group in the country, the biggest, the most dangerous of them all, make no mistake about it, is big tech. Got it? Got it? Hear me? Feel me? Big tech is the biggest. The biggest. The biggest. I'm telling you. I am telling you. They are the most dangerous of them all. But that's for something else. So what we're seeing right now is this. And in a classic, Tucker was on with some British twit, and he said, don't you feel that you must disavow any type of connection with Candace Owens regarding... And he said, what? Disavow? That I will not abide. You see where we're going with this? They're losing. Instead of Dr. Gorka saying, Mr. President, we've got to make the message, whatever the hell our message is, a little clearer, add some degree of limpidity, pellucidity. We've got to do something. Okay, because this fake accent shit just ain't working, all right? And I don't know what we're doing, but our numbers are crashing. And midterms is going to take a hit. And right now, I don't know if you've looked around you, but the poll numbers regarding that certain country, which people think everybody's aligned with, and we're aligned with, the negative feelings have never been higher. Ever! Ever! It is a different world. It is different. Don't ask me to explain the etiology or teleology of why this is, but it is so. Mr. President, you're a smart man. We've got to cut bait, baby, because we're tired of fishing. It's over. But the last thing you do is you make a martyr of the people that you want to neutralize. You're going to make them more popular. Tucker Carlson the other day talked to Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie won his district by like 75 points year after year. All of a sudden, he's targeted. He was really big on the Epstein, releasing the Epstein files, and also was very, very against any kind of military aid to Israel. So, the various powers and the groups that be, AIPAC, but other versions and iterations of this, spent a fortune. And his margin was, I think, like a point from 75%. Tucker goes on, gives him an hour, and all of a sudden the money bomb comes in. And people are saying, we're with you, and all of a sudden it's like, who's this Thomas Massie? Who is this guy? Not through Fox, not through ABC, not through CNN, through Tucker Carlson. In a kind of a hunting lodge set in Maine or something with this guy. That's it. It's different. It's over. It's over. And people like Count Dracula here, who thinks he's going to come across, all of a sudden he goes, you must do this. What is the matter with you? So let me tell you something. They're asking you and me and everyone to disavow. Now, again, people are going to say, oh, are you standing up for Nick Fuentes? Would you shut up? Did you just hear what I said? Do I have to repeat myself? Is that all you know? Do you just walk around with litmus tests all the time? Acid or base? I mean, is that all you do? But the idea is not to go after Nick Fuentes or Meghan Markle, what's her face, or Alex Jones, or Tucker, Or, no, it's to go after ideas and to win them ideologically, spiritually, philosophically. My friends, do you hear me? We're going to go, Max, or we're going to stay home. That's it. I will not disavow Candace. I will not disavow anyone. This I will not abide. Do you hear me? I will not allow this. You understand, Dr. Gorka? So go back into your cave, you and Grandpa Munster, whatever the hell your name is. Now, do me a favor. Please like me. Like me. Oh, like me. Like this video. Like it. Put us on the HOV lane. Those little likes, people say, like Sally Field, oh, he likes me. It's a very important thing. Put me there. Like. Please subscribe. We're coming up on 400K, my friend. I'm just a little station. Station? Did I say station? Listen, no. I'm a little channel, whatever this thing is called. And I'm 400,000. It's right there. So please follow us. Now, please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, implore, and import you to comment as you see fit. And I have 5 questions for you to answer in the comment section immediately upon listening to this piece, wiping the sweat from your brow, go immediately and answer my questions, and comment as you see fit.